Hello, this is Dov Byrne with Principles of Finance, and I am going to show you how to calculate the weighted average cost of capital for your company for the company analysis project. First, we have to calculate the cost of equity, which we will use in the weighted average cost of capital calculation. So the first step is actually using the Gordon dividend model to calculate your cost of equity. So we are going to gather this information from Yahoo Finance. As you can see, I've looked up my company, IBM, on Yahoo Finance. And the first thing we need to do is to calculate or to find the current dividend. We also need to know the quarterly dividend growth rate. So we're going to go to historical prices, and we're going to download dividends only. And we can download these dividends to Excel by clicking Download to Spreadsheet. This will download your dividends to a separate spreadsheet. And we're going to look at 5 years of quarterly dividends. So when you look at these dividends, you can see that we have four quarterly dividends of 95 cents, 4 quarterly dividends of 85 cents, 4 quarterly dividends of 75 cents, 65 cents, and 55 cents. So from 2/6/2014 to 5/6/2009, that gives us 5 years of quarterly dividends. But we need one more period, so we actually need 21 quarters of dividends. So I'm going to take from 2/6/2009 to 2/6/2014. And the reason I decided to go from end at 2/6/2014 is because that represents the fourth quarter of these equal dividends. So let's take our 21 periods of dividends, and we're going to copy and paste them over onto our company analysis template. There they are, and then we can give it a heading, date, and dividends. Make it look nice. And there we have 21 periods of dividends. So our current annual dividend would be 4 quarters worth of dividends. So we're going to sum up our last 4 equal dividends to come up with our annual dividend. Even though these dividends weren't paid all in 2013, we're going to take the last 4 equal dividends to calculate our current annual dividend. The current share price, we're going to also get from Yahoo Finance. You can see it right here, 181.12. We'll actually put it up here in our WACC calculation and then link to it down here. Now we have to calculate the quarterly dividend growth rate. And the way we do that is we take our most current quarterly dividend and divide it by our most previous quarterly dividend. And this process is very evident in the PowerPoint presentation for Chapter 6. So current dividend divided by the dividend 21 periods ago, and then to the power of 1 divided by n minus 1. N is the number of dividends we have here. So we actually have 21 dividends. So we're going to say 21 minus 1 is 20. So 1 to the power of 1 over 20. And then, once we've done that, we're going to subtract 1. So this 20 here comes from the fact that we have 21 dividends, and this is n minus 1, so 21 minus 1 is 20. So now we see that we have a 3.26% quarterly dividend growth rate, and we need to annualize that quarterly growth rate. And the way we do that is take 1 plus the quarterly rate to the power of 4, because there's 4 quarters in a year, and then we subtract 1 to turn it into a percent. If we don't put the 1 in there, then we can see that we get 113.70%. That isn't a growth rate. We get the growth rate by then subtracting 1 and see that dividends grew by an annual rate of 13.7% from 2/6/2009 to 2/6/2014. And now we plug in the formula for our cost of equity using the Gordon dividend model. So we're going to take the current annual dividend and multiply it by 1 plus the annual growth rate. Sorry, we're taking the current annual dividend times 1 plus the annual growth rate divided by the company's share price, and then we add another period of growth. So we add the annual dividend growth rate again. We like to list all of our percentages in at least two decimal places. So we have a cost of equity of 16.08, and now we can use that in our weighted average cost of capital calculation. Other information we need for WACC is the number of shares, and I want you to list the number of shares in thousands. And the reason for that is because your income statement is listed in thousands. Make it so we can make this bigger here. Your income statement is listed in thousands from Yahoo Finance. Your balance sheet is listed in thousands of dollars from Yahoo Finance. And so we're going to need your number of shares outstanding to be listed in thousands of dollars as well. To look up shares outstanding, you go to Yahoo Finance and you click on Key Statistics. Then down here on the right, you'll see shares outstanding. My shares outstanding are 1.01B, so they're listed in billions of dollars. So I need to convert 1.01 billion into thousands. So 1.01 billion. I need to convert that into thousands by dropping 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. And now I have numbers of shares and thousands of share. My market value of equity is the number of shares multiplied by the market price per share. And we're going to use the book value of debt. Your text in the slideshows show market value of debt, but that's not an easy number to come by, so we're going to use book value of debt, and we're talking total debt here. So we're going to go to the balance sheet and grab the short current portion of long-term debt plus long-term debt. And that gives us our big D, the book value of debt. We're going to calculate the cost of debt as your interest expense from 2013 divided by your average debt for 2013. And your average debt for 2013 would be what you ended 2013 with in total debt. So we'll go to the balance sheet. So total, you ended 2013 with short-term plus your long-term debt. And what did you begin 2013 with? Well, the beginning of 2013 is the same as the end of 2012. So we're going to average the total debt from 2013 and the total debt from 2012. So we pay, IBM pays 1.1% interest on its debt. To get our tax rate, we're going to go to the income statement, and it's simply going to be income tax expense divided by income before tax. And we get 15.58%. If you get a number that looks abnormal to you, maybe less than 10% or more than 40%, then calculate your tax rate based on previous years, and then you can average all three, or you can pick one that seems normal, which we would expect, between 10 and 40%. Now that we have all of the components for the weighted average cost of capital, we can enter the weighted average cost of capital formula, which is cost of equity times the percent of your company that's financed with equity. So that would be big E divided by E plus D. E and D are the capital structure of your company. And then we're going to add the cost of debt, but since Debt is tax deductible. We're going to multiply that by 1 minus your tax rate to come up with a tax adjusted cost of equity. And then we're going to multiply that by the portion of our company that's financed with debt. Not very much. D over D plus E. And we come up with a weighted average cost of capital of 13.38%. Make our fonts consistent, and we can give this a top and double bottom border. So that is how you calculate your cost of equity and your weighted average cost of capital for part 2 of our company analysis project. If you have any questions, please post your questions to the company analysis project help forum.